A mysterious billionaire flew into New York with $1 billion in cash and a dream to change the world. But when he offered it to Donald Trump, Trump said no. What followed wasn't just a headline. It was a global shockwave that flipped power, pride, and perception on its head. This isn't just a story about rejection. It's about revenge, revolution, and the rise of a new world power. Buckle up, it all started in silence. No press release, no flashy entourage. Just a quiet request for a private meeting at the top of Trump Tower, New York. The man behind the request? Malik al-Hassani, a name that, until then, flew under the radar for most Americans. But in elite financial circles, Malik's name carried weight, a mysterious black Arab billionaire whose business empire spanned Africa, the Middle East, and parts of Europe. Born in the heart of Khartoum, Sudan, to a Sudanese mother and Yemeni father, Malik came from nothing. His childhood was spent dodging political unrest and economic instability. By age 15, he was working on the streets of Cairo selling black-market electronics. But he wasn't just hustling for money. He was watching, learning. He eventually earned a scholarship to a university in the UK, studied engineering, and by 27 had invented a solar-powered water purification unit that saved thousands of lives. In South Sudan, that invention became the seed for something far bigger. Over the next decade, Malik used his wealth to build Al-Hassani Global Logistics, a company that thrived in the places others feared. War zones, embargoed nations, disaster-struck areas. He wasn't afraid of chaos. He saw opportunity in it. Now in his mid-40s, Malik had set his sights on something even greater: legacy. He wanted to partner with a global name to launch a series of world-class developments across Africa and the Middle East. Not just skyscrapers or hotels, but multi-use smart cities, luxurious yet sustainable, profitable yet socially responsible. There was one name he believed could deliver the global branding and attention to pull it off: Donald J. Trump. Malik arrived in New York with an entourage of advisors and a bold proposition. He would pay Trump $1 billion in cash to co-develop and co-brand 10 smart luxury cities, starting with Dubai, Cairo, and Lagos. In return, he wanted joint naming rights, partial ownership, and Trump's branding machine. But there was more. Malik wanted each city to include innovation hubs, job training centers, and renewable energy programs. These developments would not just house the rich, but uplift the poor. The project would merge opulence with purpose. To Malik, it was a deal of the century. To Trump, it was just another meeting. The meeting took place in the glittering golden marble boardroom of Trump Tower. Malik, dressed in a crisp navy suit with a lapel pin shaped like the African continent, stood confidently as he presented. He showed architectural renderings of futuristic cityscapes, green skyscrapers, solar farms, floating museums. He detailed projected profits, citing tourism, luxury rentals, and regional tax incentives. Trump, seated across from him, was quiet. He occasionally sipped Diet Coke and glanced at the slides, offering polite nods but no real reaction. Malik, ever poised, pushed forward. He explained how Africa's urban population was expected to triple by 2050, how the Middle East was investing heavily in post-oil economies, and how this project would place Trump back at the center of international business. Then came the ask: $1 billion up front for naming rights, 51% co-ownership of Trump Dubai, and branding of 10 Trump x Malik smart cities. There was a pause. Trump leaned back and smirked. "It's interesting," he said slowly, "but it's not on brand." Malik raised an eyebrow. "You mean not profitable?" Trump shook his head. "Not that. You're sharp. The money's real. But my base, they don't want Trump Towers in Africa or Yemen or Nigeria. It's bad optics. I'm not in the charity business." Malik froze. No anger, no rebuttal, just a nod. He closed his laptop, shook Trump's hand, and left the room without another word. But what happened next changed everything. Within 48 hours, word of the meeting leaked. A journalist from a Dubai finance blog tweeted about it. A Pan-African news outlet picked it up. Then came The Guardian, CNN, Al Jazeera. The headline was everywhere. Trump rejects $1 billion from black Arab tycoon. Was it racism, arrogance, short-sightedness? Social media erupted. Hashtags like Malik vs. Trump and billion-dollar snub trended worldwide. Political pundits debated it nightly. Some defended Trump, saying he had a right to protect his brand. Others saw it as a reflection of deeper issues, elitism, racial bias, and ignorance of Africa's rising economic power. But while the world debated, Malik stayed silent until he didn't. 10 days after the Trump rejection, Malik re-emerged. He called a press conference in Nairobi, Kenya, flanked by African ministers, engineers, architects, and a sea of cameras. Wearing a white tailored suit and dark sunglasses, he stepped to the podium. "Ladies and gentlemen," he began, "when one door closes, another is built. Today, I announce the launch of something Africa has never seen." And with that, he unveiled the Wakanda Initiative. Inspired by the fictional city in Marvel's Black Panther, the Wakanda Initiative wasn't just symbolism, it was strategy. Malik pledged over $3 billion in personal and partner capital to develop 15 smart cities across Africa over the next decade. Cities that would be self-sustaining, solar-powered, and tech-driven. Cities where education, innovation, and business would thrive under African ownership. Each city would feature renewable energy infrastructure, AI and tech incubation, hubs luxury, housing and retail, anti-poverty and job training centers, cultural centers promoting African art and history. But the real kicker? Malik announced global partnerships with leading firms from China, Singapore, and even Silicon Valley. And the branding? 100% African. No Trump, no Western cosign. His final words rang like thunder across the internet. "I don't need a seat at anyone's table. I'll build my own, with room for everyone." The speech went viral. Celebrities from Trevor Noah to Rihanna to Elon Musk chimed in with praise. African youth, who had long felt ignored by global politics, saw Malik as a hero, and just like that, the story flipped. Trump was no longer the main character. 2 years later, on a humid morning in Accra, Ghana, the first city of the Wakanda Initiative opened to the world. Reporters from 60 countries arrived. Drone cameras flew over solar-roofed buildings, clean energy grids, and bustling tech corridors. Children in school uniforms coded simple apps on donated tablets. African engineers gave tours to investors from Tokyo, Berlin, and Toronto. Malik, now grayer but glowing with purpose, led the ribbon cutting. "Welcome to the future," he said, "where Africa is not a victim, but a visionary." CNN called it Africa's Silicon Valley. The BBC dubbed it the future Dubai, but better. The Wall Street Journal wrote an op-ed titled, "Trump said no, Africa said yes." But perhaps the most shocking twist came from Trump himself. Now, back in the political arena and eyeing another presidential run, Trump was asked about the Malik offer during a town hall. He paused, looked into the camera, and said, "Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I missed a big one. That Malik guy. Smart, very smart, maybe even too smart." The audience laughed, but online, it was a moment. Commentators dissected it. Some saw humility, others saw regret, but everyone saw the truth. The rejection had transformed into revolution. Today, Malik Al-Hassani isn't just a billionaire. He's a symbol of a new age, where emerging economies lead, where rejected visionaries rise, and where legacy isn't given, but built. And Trump? He remains part of the story, but not the one who changed the world. Sometimes the world tells you no because it doesn't see your value. But if you refuse to be diminished, if you build when others block, your story doesn't end at rejection. It begins there.